Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning to you, Mr. Witness. As you know, my name is Maria Masingate, and I'll be questioning you on behalf of the Commission. Sorry. Mr. Chairman, the witness has a little bit of ear issues, so he will need the earpiece in order to hear clearly. Mr. Kebe, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I'm hearing you clearly.
Can you hear yourself when you listen, like twice?
I'm not getting you.
You hear yourself twice when you listen through the earpiece?
No, no, no.
It's okay?
It's okay.
As you know, Mr. Witness, my name is Maria Masingate, and I will be questioning you on behalf of the Commission today. Just to go over a few rules before we start, there is simultaneous interpretation going on, so I request that you speak into the mic and you speak slowly so that the interpreters will pick on what you say, and I will do the same as well. The issues I would like to discuss with you today, first is your background, and we move to your career progression in the Army. We'll briefly touch on 22nd July 1994.
No.
And we move on to incidents of November 10 and 11.
Yeah.
And then we'll finally deal with your personal ordeal and victimization. And then we'll discuss the impact that your ordeals has on you and your family. Can you please tell us your names?
My name is Alaji Kebe.
When and where were you born?
I was born in the heart of Banjul, 47 Gloucester Street.
When?
1957.
Where did you receive your primary and secondary education?
I received my primary school at Kampama Primary. Later, tuition was in Roman school, but not completed. After I went to the vocational training center, technical school in those days.
When did you finish your secondary education?
I cannot really remember, but I think it's around 78, 79, something like that.
And when did you enroll in the vocational training school?
That's 79, yes, I enrolled there in that 79.
What course did you study at the vocational training school?
I did carpentry and joinery.
For how long did your study last?
It lasted for 3 years.
After graduating from your vocational training school, what did you do?
Then I joined the Gambia Ports Authority. At the time, at the dockyard as a carpenter. I was there till 1983. Then I decided to took voluntary retirement. From there, I opened my workshop on my own. Up to 1989, that's the time I enlisted in the Gambia National Army.
And what intake was that?
Intake 12.
After the completion of your training in the Army, what rank were you given?
I was a private soldier.
Can you please give us your career progression up to 94?
Okay, after our training, we trained for 6 months. After the training, I was posted to Farafeni on the B company, where I spent 1 month, 15 days, because it was the end of the term of the company. They were supposed to come back to Yundum Barracks. So we came back to Yundum Barracks. From there, I was transferred to Echo Company and posted to Birkama. I was in Birkama for some time. That I was selected to go on a cadre course at Parafene, where I spent 2 weeks. From there, I came back to Birkama. After for some time, the British training team came on a visit to that camp. At that time, it was the British training team who were responsible for the training of the army. So Colonel So came there, and by the time Captain Laconte was our company commander. So the camp was located just beside the hospital, between the hospital and the Birkama market. So he asked our commander, in case of attack, what are you going to do here? So our commander responded that I'm going to hold on my barracks, try and secure the hospital because of the sick people there. So then he said, in case of the enemy happens to fire on you, what are you going to do? He said, I cannot return fire because I'm in the midst of the civilians. So he said, this place is not a camp. So we are closing this camp today. You people are going back to barracks. That's how I went back to Yundum. So when I went to Yundum, a little time after I applied for my vocation, they give me 3 weeks. So when I come back, just entering the camp, people started complimenting me. To my surprise, I was promoted to Lance Corporal in my absence. So when I returned back to work 2 days after, I was decorated by Lieutenant Fraser Juve at the time, who was a company commander. He was a platoon commander in my company at the time. Then later I was transferred to the ration store as 2IC, responsible of feeding the army at the time. I was working with one couple Gassama, who was my boss, but he was about to finish his contract. So later he was asked to hand over the office to me, and he went on retirement. So I was there for a period of time. Then I was transferred to the quartermaster's office, that is the QM, where I work with late Captain Mustafa Alai Balde. So that's where I was up to 1994, 22nd July.
You said when you went to Yundum Barracks, you were in a unit that was responsible for feeding the army.
Yeah, that's so.
Can you briefly explain how your unit was at that time?
No, it was a bit better compared to the time when the Nigerians came. Because at the time, things were at least better because we used to have supplies from yams, livestock, and these local vendors who used to supply us these perishable goods, these perishable items for the condiments that we used to cook for the soldiers. It was a bit better. There was a friend of mine who is late now. He was the fish supplier. He used to bring very good fish for the army at the time.
Do you recall what year you were promoted to Lance Corporal?
I think it was 1990, if I'm not wrong.
Do you also recall the year that you were at the unit that was responsible for feeding?
Yeah. It was the same 90 I was taken there.
Now, in July 22nd, 1994, were you still at Union Barracks?
Yes, I was there.
Can you tell us about that day?
Okay. The day before, there was a guard of honor. I think the president was supposed to come back home. Okay, I was not in camp because I was not part of the guard of honor. I went to Serekunda with my wife, who is late now. So we were there till around after 6 to 7. Then we decided to come back to the camp. But we have transport difficulties because at that time everybody was rushing home. As we are standing on the side of the road, I saw the military truck from airport going to Westfield with full of soldiers on ceremonial. So it was a tradition. After guard of honor, the trucks will transport men up to Westfield and drop them there, so everybody finds their way home. So after dropping those soldiers, the truck was going back. I stopped at the driver. He recognized me and stopped. He said, "You heading to the camp?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Okay, you can take us along because we don't have transport." That's why we get into the car, into the truck, sorry. The driver was one Demo Jiva. Then he just told me, "Sir, do you know what happened?" I said, "No." He said, "At the airport, these people, they wanted to stage a coup." I said, "Which people?" He said, "Yaya Jammeh and others." But they were disarmed. I went on my truck. I see the president bought his vehicle and was going. I give him a salute and get down inside my truck. So I said, "Okay, is that true?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Okay." Then we drove us to the barracks. We went to our house. By the time, I was staying with my wife at Bahamas. That's the residence of the soldiers. So the following morning, early morning, we were woke up by gunshots. That is one Musa Mane, who was the MTO at the camp there. He was responsible of dispensing the vehicles. We allocate drivers vehicles. If you have mission, you go to him. Then he will assign a driver and a truck for you to go and do your mission, whatever. It depends on the type of mission you want to go on. So I understand these soldiers, they went to see this man, they don't see him, they start shooting at his windows. That's the time we woke up. We all rushed to the camp. We met Yaya Jammeh, Edward Singate, and a group of soldiers scattering weapons all over. So when you come there, you just ask you, "Are you interested in what we are going to do?" If you said yes, they said, "Arm yourself." No, to the cells. So I came to understand that some even senior officers were put into that cell at the time. I reached that area together with the late Samuel Jose. So he was asked to join them, but he refused. To be quite honest with you, he refused to do it. They marched him up to the cells inside the guard room, but before reaching the cells, I don't know how they convinced him, he decided to. That's how he was armed and stay with us there. After, it was a problem to have transport to go out, because this Musamani, I'm telling you, was nowhere to be seen, and he was the one who was responsible of this vehicle piece. So some of the...
I'm really sorry for cutting you, Mr. Kebe. I'd just like to clarify a few issues before we move on to the story, so that we can get a clear detail of your narrative.
No problem.
Now, the day before you're talking about, is it the 21st of July 1994?
Yeah, it's the 21st.
And the day after you're referring to, is it the 22nd July 1994?
Yeah.
Now, on that day, you mentioned that you woke up. Were you residing at the camp then?
Yeah, I was residing at the camp.
What time of the day was that?
It was early morning, around 7 o'clock, after 7.
And Musa you were talking about, the one that you said had the keys to the armory.
No,
what was his rank?
It's not the armory.
The vehicles, sorry.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you for rectifying me.
No
the
problem.
Vehicles.
Yes.
What was his rank then?
He was sergeant at the time.
Where was his office located at that time?
No, we have the engineering area. That's where they park their vehicles. But he was residing with us at Bahamas there. Yeah.
So you mentioned that they broke into his house. Was the house close to yours? What was the proximity of his house to yours?
I'm not getting you. Can you?
The proximity of his house to yours. Was it close to your house?
Yes, it was in the same line. We are not far from each other. But from the camp going to our residence, you pass his house first before reaching mine.
You also mentioned that you saw Yaya Jammeh and Edward Singate that morning.
Yeah.
Did you know them prior to that day?
Of course, yes. We are all in the same camp. I seen Edward as far as service is concerned. It's not that he was commissioned after when he came, but he met me in the army. Yaya Jammeh was brought to the army in 1992 when they were amalgamating the Gendarmerie and the police. So he was brought in as military police commander. So that's how we get used to each other.
You also mentioned that they were asking men to either join them or be locked up. Can you recall how many people they asked to either join them or be locked up?
All soldiers, anybody who came at that time, because it was in the morning, soldiers were supposed to come to work. So that place was full of civilians. So we decided to move the civilians from the scene because both sides are having weapons. Anything can happen, and in the midst of that civilian, it can create a problem. So we decided to ask the civilian people to retreat. I can fully remember the day the Honorable O.J. Jallo, I don't know, his mother or his stepmother passed away. So they were supposed to go to Banjul to bring that corpse for burial. So, at that time, those people there were very, very popular. So people were so many at the bridge there. So we decided to retreat the civilians from the danger zone. So upon doing that, civilians, most of them, they are strong-headed. We asked them to go back, they said yes. The next you turn, they turn behind you. So that's how we are pushing and pulling with them until we reach that fourth factory, Kendaka. That's where we pinned them, we decided to come back. So before coming, by the time we meet, these people have already negotiated their way, and they moved to Banjul. So that's how we followed them, because there was no vehicle at the time. We decided to walk up to Banjul. Before reaching the State House, they have already get inside the State House. So I went in there, I went straight to the open area where I met Sana Savali. He said, "Couple, you are here?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Okay, wait for me, I'm coming." I stood there for a couple of minutes. Then he came and said, "Couple, I am supposed to go to Kanifing." I said, "Oh, sir, no problem." He brought me inside one car. We go to Kanifing, the next station at Kanifing. So that's where he addressed those people and said that they understand that people are about to create sabotage by shutting the pumps and offering the lights. So we told them this man is coming to work with you here. If he happens to see any sabotage, you just teach them, as the military says, this man cannot talk. It's the barrier of the gun that will talk. So be very careful. So that's where he left me. I was there the whole day. I even spent the night there with them. The day after, I wanted to go and see my mother. It was just...
As at that time, did Sana Sabali explain the reason why you were there?
Yes, he just explained to them that they are suspecting sabotage. So they don't want, it's a coup d'etat. So if there is no bridge, so that place was, expectations were high, but other than that, nothing else. We are working fine.
Was there any significant change at the camp after July 22nd takeover?
No, there was no change. There was no change. It was the same routine.
For how long did you remain at the Union Barracks?
I was there all the time until this 11 November incident.
Let me take you back to November 10th. Were you at the camp that day?
Yes, I was at the camp.
Can you tell us about that day?
Yes, I was in my office doing my normal routine until around approximately after 2 to 3. That's the time we had a roll call that the RSM said let us all fall into the open area. That's the Prague post there. So one of my boys who were working with me, I think it was Yuf or Job, one of them, came and said, the RSM said, we all fall into the Prague post.
Who was the RSM?
RSM Sanyang was the acting RSM at the time.
Can you please give us his first name?
Abugar Sanyang.
So what happened after the RSM has asked you to fall in?
Then everybody went. That's the time we saw the council members coming. So when they came, they come out from their vehicles. The RSM spring the men to attention, hand over them to the council, and they start telling us that there is a rumor that they heard about some people who wanted to overthrow their regime. It was first announced by Sana Sabali, and he said anybody who is ventured to participate in that will be dealt with accordingly. It was did the same comments. Sadibu Haidara. Edward went to the extent of even firing 3 shots on the air to demonstrate how they are going to treat anybody who ventured to overthrow their regime. So it was a quiet moment for soldiers, because as our superiors stand in front of us lamenting those type of things, you cannot say anything to them. So we were there, they say all what they wanted to say, and the RSM seek permission from them to fall out the men. They said okay.
Can you recall what time of the day that was?
It's supposed to be around after 2, 3, running towards 4 o'clock.
When you said council, who were you referring to?
The council members then at the time, you have Sana Sawali, Edward Singate, Yankuba Ture, Sadibu Haidara.
Were they all present for that meeting?
Yeah, for Yankuba, I don't see him to be quite honest with you. I don't see him to be quite honest with you. But other than him, all those people, including Babu Kajata, Mudu Baji, the senior men, they are all there.
Aside from those that came into the camp, what of the other officers that were in the camp? Were they also present at that meeting?
They were present. My commanding officer at the time, Lieutenant Dawo, was there. Buba Jame, Lieutenant Buba Jame.
Can you please provide the first names as well as their ranks?
Those people are Sanamuri personnel. That's why most of them I don't know their names, to be quite honest with you. But I know Lieutenant Davo was my immediate boss at the time, because the time they came, he was brought in at the quartermaster's office just to supervise me. You see, just for a command purpose, because all the job was done by me. You see, so Nyanju, because after the takeover, all those sergeants, they were giving sub-lieutenant ranks. It's only C who was giving full lieutenant, two stars. So we were all there. All those officers were there. So
was Say also present at that meeting?
He was there. Of course, yes, he was there.
And what's his first name, please?
Say. I'm used to him because we are almost the same area. You see?
The Nyancho you were referring to? Yes. What was his name?
I think it was Bakari Mane or Buamane, I don't know.
What was his rank?
He was lieutenant at the time. They were all giving top lieutenant rank at the time, 1 star.
How long did that meeting last?
Approximately 45 minutes to 1 hour. It was a one-sided meeting. It's only the council who talked and everybody discussed.
Can you recall the number of soldiers present at that meeting, apart from the council members?
No. I'm not getting you.
Can you recall the number of soldiers that were present at that meeting?
Soldiers, I mean, you're talking of your camp, Yundum Barracks. Soldiers were there. See? And when they blew the people say falling, some soldiers will stay behind. Even cooks, they will leave the cookhouse and come, just to know what is happening.
After that said meeting, what was the mood of the soldiers like?
No, but let me just clarify one thing. My office was not in the midst of the camp. So any time such a thing happened, if I'm finished from there, I'm just back to my office as the quartermaster. So I don't mingle the men because most of the men are in the companies, that's the infantry companies, you understand? We are more admin than infantry. So how soldiers were, how the mood of soldiers were at that time, definitely I cannot tell much.
What of you personally, when you attended that meeting and you heard the warnings like you mentioned from the council members, what went through your mind then?
No, I can't understand because it's just a surprise to me. And I have never had anything like that to any soldier also. So definitely when they just came and said they had rumor mongering, people are about to overthrow their regime, it was a big surprise on my side. Anyway, you see.
You mentioned that after the meeting you went back to your...
I went back to my office.
Office?
Yes.
What happened afterwards?
You know, there was supposed to be a dress rehearsal the following day. And all the backups are from my office. I issue officers ceremonial shorts, their belts, and any other requirements that they need. So I went there until closing time. I decided to close my office and pass to my boss, Lieutenant Davo, who was assigned as the commander at the time. So I told him that I'm going home. He said, I said, yes, I said, pass to RSM, let him brief you. So I went to RSM Sanyang's house at the time. I said, RSM sir, message from my boss, Lieutenant Davo. He said, let you brief me. He said he doesn't know what to tell me. That was the response he gave me. So I said, okay. I decided to continue and go home.
At what time of the day did you go to RSM Sanyang?
It was a little to 4 after 4, something like that. 4 after 4.
And what was the dress rehearsal supposed to be for?
It was for the Remembrance Day.
When was the Remembrance Day scheduled to take place?
It was supposed to take place Sunday, the 13th.
What happened after you went to RSM Sanyang's office?
So, not in his office, at his residence. That's where I passed. He was staying at the Bahamas there too. So I told him, anyway, from my boss, he said, let you brief me. He said he doesn't know what to tell me. I said, okay. Then I move and go straight to my house.
Afterwards, when you went straight to your house, what did you do next?
After taking my lunch, I stayed there till 5 o'clock. I do my 5 o'clock prayers, then perform my supplementary prayers. From there, I decided to dress up and go to my second wife. At the time, I was having 3 wives.
Where was your second wife residing then?
At Latunda.
How about your first wife?
She was in Banjul, in our family compound.
So what happened?
So then, as I was preparing to go, one Sergeant Jata from Ban, he's a member of the army band, a brother to the then army commander at the time, Baukar Jata, he came to my house. He met me outside. I was even wiping my shoes. He said, Kopul Kebe, I said, yes, sir. He said, you people are supposed to take over guard from the guard platoon. I said, sir, why? He said, these people are supposed to go on dress rehearsals tomorrow. So you people are going to take over guard and that's the guard list. So I said, what time are we taking over? He said, you're taking over 11 o'clock or first thing in the morning. That is 11 p.m. or first thing in the morning. I said, okay, sir, no problem. So at that time, there was a small joke between me and my late wife. He started saying, okay, today there is no going to Latkunda, you are staying here. And from there, I waited up to around 10:30 to 11. I started preparing myself. I dressed up, take that guard list he gave me, my weapon. Then I decided to head to the camp. So when I went out from my house, I met up with Basiru Kamara. He was a sergeant at the time. He too was part of that guard list that we were supposed to take over from the boys. You know, we used to have reinforcement from admin, the engineers, and the mechanics, even from cookhouse, when we are sort of men. So at that time, men were not that much because of the areas of responsibilities were too much. So they asked the headquarter company to take over the platoon that is on guard so that they can perform the dress rehearsals preparing for the Remembrance Day. So I was given that list by Sergeant Jata.
Sergeant Jata, can you recall his first name?
To be quite honest, I forget his first name, but he's a brother to Baukar Jata, the army commander at that time, and I think he's still serving at the band.
Apart from you on that list, who else was on that list? Can you recall the names of the people that were on that list and on guard?
I was used to Basiru Kamara because we are not far from each other. Sorry. He was in the list. But others, they select people from engineering squadron, cookhouse, the mechanics. So we are not used to those people. It's just from time to time, when we met up on guard duties, that's the time we know each other.
Around what time did Sergeant Jata give you that list?
That was after 5 to 6.
Did you eventually meet with the people that you were supposed to be on guard with that day?
No, only when I was going out, I met up with Basiru Kamara. He said, are you part of the guard? I said, yes, that's the guard list. I'm part of it, so I'm going to the camp. He said, me too, I'm going. Then we started to move. There is a shop just after, there is a feeder road between our residence and the main camp. So just after that Feeder Road, there is a shop at the end. So he stopped at this shop and was trying to buy something there. I don't know. Then me, I continue on my way.
Around what time was that?
That was around 11 or a little after 11.
What happened afterwards?
Pardon?
What happened afterwards?
Then I went on my way. On entering the barricade of the camp, which is just next to the officers' mess, that's where I met up with Edward Singante, Lieutenant Edward Singante. He called my name, Kopu Kebe. I said, sir, he said, what are you people on? I said, sir, what? He said, where is your weapon? I said, that's my weapon here. He said, give it to me. I give him my weapon. Then he left me and started to go. I heard him saying to other soldiers, if you don't mind, we'll start shooting on you people. So,
sorry, can you repeat that?
Pardon?
Repeat what he said.
He said, you people, if you don't mind, we'll start shooting on you people. So at the time, I've already sorted my weapon to him. And I heard him mentioning that if you don't mind, we'll start shooting on you people. I said, let me just go back home now. So I decided to retreat and go to Bahamas, where I stay.
Did you observe anything unusual that night?
The camp was totally dark. It was totally dark. It's just, I met up with him just at the beginning of the entering the camp. It was a big dark. I don't see anyone. It's only him I met. And that is what transpired between me and him. He said, what are people on? I said, nothing. He said, where is your weapon? I said, that's it. He said, give me your weapon. I just hand him over my weapon because I was not on anything. I was supposed to go on duties. Took my weapon. I decided to retreat. So
we have listened to the evidence of RSM Sanyang, now Lieutenant Colonel Sanyang.
Sanyang, yes.
He mentioned in his evidence that you mentioned that you went to his house.
Yes.
And told him that you and others have decided to remove the council from power, and that you are ready to do that now, and that he should line up men and prepare for it. What do you have to say about that evidence?
I think this is the Quran I sworn in. Between me and the Almighty God that I respect. That never transpired between me and Baukar Sanyang. I went to Baukar Sanyang immediately after I closed my office and passed through my boss. He said, let me go to Baukar Sanyang, let him brief me. I went to him. I told him the message. He said he doesn't know what to tell me. That's the time I last see Baukar Sanyang. I never went to Baukar Sanyang's house telling him to, the men are ready, let him tell the men to come out. Who am I, a mere lance corporal, to talk to a senior officer like that? And I'm not that type of person. I wish you go to the army and ask who Corporal Kebe was. I'm not praising myself, but I can tell you I was one of the most disciplined soldiers in that army. In a sense, I'm an elderly somebody. I joined the army at not my youth age. I went there as an engineer. It's just because of the training I had, they feel I'm more important in the infantry than being in the engineering squadron. That's how I was posted to be a company. So for me going to Baukar Sanyang, telling him that the men are ready, let him fall in the men, everybody is ready. That's not true, to be quite honest with you. That never transpired between me and Baukar Sanyang. Only what I tell you, and that was in the afternoon. I never saw Baukar Sanyang during that night.
Were you the only Corporal Kebe at that time in the army?
There are 3 Corporal Kebes in the army, as far as I know. I am Corporal Kebe, Corporal Aladi Kebe, 10877. The other Corporal Kebe is Corporal Ahmad Kebe, 10878. He is my class. We joined the service the same day. The other one is an engineer. So if Baukar Sanyang said that I went to him and tell him that let him fall in the men, that's not true.
Can you please give us the name of the third Corporal Kebe?
No, I don't know his name. He's an engineer, but I know him as Corporal Kebe.
Do you know where he was stationed at that time?
At that time, he was at Farafeni, if I'm not wrong.
So after you were told by Edward to hand over your weapon, what did you do?
I decided to go back home.
Where was home for you?
That's at Bahamas, where I'm staying with my family. So when I walk up to very little to reach my house, I had gunshots inside the camp. So Bahamas, everybody started opening their doors, moving out their families, because we are staying there with our families. That's how I went and knocked my wife. He opened the door. I said, have you heard what is going on? He said, yes. Gee, what is the problem? I said, I don't know. Anyway, people are moving out. Let's try and move out. He said, where are you going? Birkama is far, because she is from Birkama, their family compound. I told her, no, we cannot go to Birkama now. Let's move to my in-laws' place. That is Papa. He's a brother to him, to her, sorry. He's staying at Banjulinding. I said, Banjulinding is more, so let's try and go to Banjulinding. That's how we went, me, she and her and our mate. So we walked through the back to go to Banjulinding. I met up with one soldier when I was going with my family by the name of Abajiba. He was a soldier at the time, but I last saw him, I think, at the time. You see, I don't know where he's serving still or he has left the army. But we met up at Banjulinding because he was staying at Banjulinding. So when I took my family to my in-laws' place, Mapate, so I explained what happened. So I decided to leave my family there and go back. He said, no. You said there is a problem in the camp. Your weapon is not with you. They're taking it. You had shots to bring your family here and you want to go back. It's not safe. Spend the night here till tomorrow.
The shots that you said you heard when you were going back to your home,
yes.
Was it like a single shot or like sporadic shots that you heard?
It was single shot, but it was more than 3.
Can you recall from which side of the camp the shots were coming from?
No, it was the main camp, Yunum Barracks there.
So what happened after you went to your in-laws' house and you were asked to stay?
So I stayed there in the morning, early hours of the morning, around after 7 to 8. We had that announcement from Sanasawari that there was a coup attempt. Some of the soldiers lost their life. So I decided to wait till Monday to know what is happening completely so that I can return back to the camp.
That particular night, you were supposed to be on guard duty, right?
Yes.
And you had shots. Yes. And you decided to evacuate your family to your in-laws' home.
Yeah, it's not me alone, the whole Bahamas. All who were there with their families, they decided to evacuate and take their families. We are soldiers, we know the consequence of this thing, bullets, so, and we know the weapon that we are using. AK-47 is a very dangerous weapon, so you cannot leave your family in that midst. That's why everybody decided to take your family away.
Well, after you went to your in-laws' house, they urged you to stay because you were not sure what was going on in the camp.
Yeah.
Now, you had over the radio,
yes.
you had an announcement saying that, Sanasabali saying that there was a fight and some men died.
Yes.
So what did you do afterwards?
I decided to stay till Monday to know exactly what is happening, so that the dust will be cleared and I know where to stand. So I was there till Sunday around after 5. I don't know whether they told somebody gave them tip-off that I am staying with my in-law or maybe the boy I met before that night. But they have the information that I'm in my in-law's house, because I can fully remember that day around 3 o'clock I went to see a brother of mine, that is CJ, who is staying at Banjul. He is now in the UK. So from there, I went back. Then I performed my evolution, pray 5 o'clock prayers. Upon doing my supplementary prayers, that I heard the sound. Open Quebec, come out, Quebec, come out. So before getting out of the house, there is one civilian who came in. I don't know whether he came from these people who are shouting. So he just said, your people are here. So I walked out. I saw Sergeant Fati, Lamin Fati, Bach Samajaro, Lance Corporal Jame Kanilai. I don't know the first name, whether it's Buba or Bakari, I don't know. But we used to call him Kanilai because it's a really Jame.
Does the name Musa Jame ring a bell?
No, not Musa Jame. Not Musa
Jame?
Not Musa Jame. I think it's Buba. But we used to call him locally Kanilai in the camp at the time. He was a Lance Corporal. So they came with a small car, the one Peter or Edward was driving, those small Toyotas. So they said, I'm on arrest. I said, for he said, just Albert, we are here just to arrest you. I said, okay. I wanted to board the vehicle. They said, no. They opened the boot and said, get inside. So I get inside the boot. I was squeezed there, a very small boot, and they locked the boot. And
where was your family at this point?
my wife was standing right in front of the scene. Even Sergeant Fati tell her that, sister, this man is just your husband. You can get another husband tomorrow. In a sense, they're going to kill me. I don't know. You see, he ordered that word to my wife.
Were they armed?
They, of course, yes. All of them were with AK-47.
What time of the day was this?
It was a little after 5, going towards 6.
Were you restrained before asked to enter the booth?
Where, can you repeat that?
Were you restrained in any way before asked to enter the booth?
No. They don't do anything to me. They just asked me to get inside the booth. So I squeezed myself in there, and they locked it.
How big was the boot of that car?
It was terrible. It was terrible. Very small size. And grown up somebody like me, squeezing himself inside that small car, the boot. It was terrible. And they locked it after. It was more terrible than even you can say, because even animals, you don't lock them inside those boots. Much more a human being.
So what happened after they locked the boot?
I'm in another world, because I don't know what is going on. From time to time, I was just realizing we could move. Sometimes I realized it stopped. That's how I was. It was a long time. All of a sudden, I learned the vehicle stopped. That stop was quite, at least a little time, ranging from 15 to 20 minutes, but I was still inside the boot. Then they opened. I look at them, they look at me, they said, Couple Quebec, come down. So,
can you estimate how long you were in that boot before it stopped?
It was a long time. The estimation was the time I was entering the guard room. That's the time I raised my head and said, and the clock was 10 minutes to 10. So it was almost 5 hours I was in that.
You were arrested around 3 p.m., right?
No, around a little after 5. Yeah.
So a little after 5, from 10, that's about 5 hours.
Something like
you spent 5 hours in the boot.
Yeah.
What was the distance between where you were to the guard room that they took you to?
No, Banjul and Yunum camp. It's just a small walk. Much more a car. They were going around with me, I don't know. Because I just realized the vehicle move. Sometimes it stopped for a long time, they move again. That's how I was, because that place was very dark, you don't have anything to say. Even to breathe was my problem. I was sweating like somebody they are pouring water on him. So I think if it would have happened for them to exit the time, maybe they will just find me dead. They threw me and find their way. Fortunately, when they open, I look at them, they look at me, they said, come down, I come down. They said, go to the guard room. The time I was going to the guard room, that's the time I raised my head, I saw the clock was 10 minutes to 10. So upon entering the guard room, on the whole there was a man who was hiding himself just beside the wall there by the name JCB Mendy.
What was his rank then?
I think he was a private soldier at the time. So he just gave me a very good slap on my face. I nearly fell down.
Do you know if he was ordered to slap? Did you hear any orders for him to slap you?
Not necessarily that, but I know it's something that they plan because JCB alone will never look on Couple Kebe. More going to the extent of slapping me. It's just the situation that I was at the time. So
what happened afterwards?
Gave me the slap, I nearly fall down, so I just control myself. Then they asked me to go and sit on the chair, just next to the proposed table. So I sit there. Then Edward Singh said, that's the army commander, which was a strange to me. He said, he's the one that they're supposed to give the army commander when they succeeded in their coup. Then he said, he's the one who called from airport. I said, me? He said, yes. I said, no, sir. Me, I don't call from airport. And what you are telling me is a story to me. I've never joined any coup, but more than going to the extent of trying to appoint me as army commander. That's the time they called signal office. One signaler was there by the name B.I. He's a private soldier. I know his surname, but I don't know the full name. He was called B.I. He was the signaler. So they said I called B.I. from airport, which was not true. I was not at the airport.
Who said you were the one that called BI from the airport?
That was Singh said it. He said I called. He was the one who said I was supposed to be the army commander when they succeeded in their coup.
Apart from Edward, who else was in that room?
Sanasaba was there with their Odlis, the Islamic party, and many other people were there. You know, the time they see me getting out from that boat, soldiers were coming from all corners just to come and see how they're going to last with me. So the place was very full.
So what happened when they called this BI?
They called
BI.
I took the phone. I said, BI, you said me call you from airport. He said, no, Couple Kebe don't create problem for me. That's how hearing on the phone.
Did anyone else hear what BI told you?
No, I was the one speaking with him. But I understand that Couple Kebe, the time he was calling BI, Edward was inside the signal office. Because I think after when we met up, me and him, and he took my phone, that's the time he went to the signal office. So when they had that call from that Couple Kebe, so they thought that it was me, according to what I feel. So I said, sir, no, it's not me.
Which Couple Kebe do you think they're referring to?
Later I came to understand that Couple Ahmad Kebe was at the airport at the time. Sorry, let me clarify one thing here. I've had some people who testified before me mentioning my name, Alaji Amadou Kebe. Alaji Amadou Kebe. I'm not Amadou Kebe. I'm Alaji Kebe. 10877 is Alaji Kebe, me. 10878 is Amadou Kebe. So many people are mixing my name with him. I'm not Amadou, I'm Alaji. So I understand that he was the one who was at the airport at the time, and he was the one who wanted to speak to somebody into barracks, not me.
So you believe that the Kebe that RSM Sanyang was talking about and the Kebe that Edward was referring to not you and that is mistaken identity?
No, for RSM Sanyang, it's just out of, I don't know, because I went to RSM Sanyang broad daylight, and he knows me very well. We are staying together. So he cannot mix me with anybody. He was just trying to play games. And what he was saying wasn't true, was not the least. I've never seen RSM Sanyang at that night, going to the extent of telling him to fall in the man. Who am I? May Lance Couple? This man doesn't know that I know my bits. Even if I was part of that, I will not take that responsibility. A junior couple to go and tell a whole RSM, come and fall in the man. What army is that?
So what happened after the call from BI?
So he said, let me just don't create problem for him. We decided to ring off the phone. I said, okay. Then that's the time Sana came in. Sana Sabali. He said, Kopul Kabe. I said, yes, sir. He said, you should be the last person to join this voice. I told him, sir, that will show you that I am not part of anything.
Why did he say that to you?
Okay, it's because Sana is my class. We joined army the same day. I'm older than him. I worked with his father. The time I was working with agriculture on the guard. The father was at agriculture. I was working on a project, guard project. It's an agricultural project that came here from US. So I was their maintenance manager. You see? So I worked with Sana's father, Pabiji Sabari. By that time I don't know Sana. You see? So during the time of our recruitment, when we are familiarizing to each other, that's the time he told me that he's from Kasakunda. I told him, anyway, I know a man by the name Pabiji Sabari. He said, he's my father. I said, that man is more elder to me. We did a lot. We are working together. That's the time I told him, anytime you go home, tell your father that I meet Mr. Kebe. When he make the father to know that, the father told him that that man is a brother to you, hold him. That's how we became used to each other. My wife can bear witness. Anytime Sana came to Banjo, he would go and visit my family. The time I was in Birgama, Sana used to come there every day, almost. When they close work, straight to Birgama camp. My wife used to dish out food for them. I used to go around my house, leave them there with my music set. They enjoy themselves. Until last was, they come back to barracks.
So what happened after Sana told you that?
So when I told him that will show you that I will not be part of anything. So it was a little bit silence between me and him. That's the time I had the shot from my left. It went inside my this leg and buried itself here. I fall down. So
can you please give us a description of what occurred in that room, where you were, where Sana was, and where the shot came from?
Okay, I was sitting at the corner of the guard room. The provost table is just in front of me like this. So Sana was sitting on the table. At my left hand side, there was a Campbell there where Edu was sitting. I think it's good. I don't see him trying to aim to shoot at me. It could have been more worse on my side. Maybe I will try to defend myself from that bullet that it can touch me somewhere will do more harm than good.
So the shot came from Edward? From
Edward. So it passed through this left leg and buried itself inside this right one. I fall down. Edward rose and put the pistol on here to finish me, but he was shouted by Sana. Stop it. That's the time he stopped.
What was the last name of Edward?
Edward Singati.
His?
Pardon?
His rank then?
Was the council members. By the time they were lieutenant, I think after the time, that's the time they promote themselves to those big ranks.
Can you please tell us how you felt when the shot passed through your body, and from which angle of your body did it pass through, and where did it land?
It passed through my left thigh and landed itself on the right one. You know, the velocity of the bullet was dropped because of it passed through the left thigh. That's why it buried itself. It hit the heart of the bone of my right thigh, just 3 inches below the femur. That's where it broke. So with that, it cannot go out again, so it has to lodge itself there.
What were you feeling at that time?
I was feeling horrible. Somebody who is short. You can estimate the pain you have at the time. So when I fall down, he really went to extend to complete me once and for all. So he was stopped by Sana. So where I was lying down, I was lying on a pool of blood. So Sana asked me to get up. I told him, sir, I cannot. To my own sense, he decided to assist me to get up. But later, he felt reluctant. He decided to sit back and call my name. Because on me, couple kebe, I said, yes, sir. He said, try and get up. I forced myself with the help of the left leg. By that time, this right leg was completely finished. So I sit back. Then I started feeling the pain, which I cannot estimate. I asked them to just finish me once and for all, because I cannot resist this pain. So that's the time Sana started shouting, call me the medic, call me the medic. That's how they rushed and called the medics. They came with their first aid kits. Sana told them, you cannot treat this man here. He's dying in our house. Take him. That's how I was dragged to the clinic there.
Who dragged you to the clinic? Can you recall?
I think the medics and some men. By the time, definitely, even to see, it's a problem. I had colleague in this ceremony saying that he was there assisting, but I cannot recognize him, to be quite honest with you. It's only Lysar who I can recognize. Because Lai was talking to me.
What was the rank of Lysar?
Lysar, I think he was a sergeant at the time, but from the TSG. But he was a medical officer too, at the time. He was a senior man at the medical side there.
What treatment did they administer to you when you got to the clinic?
No, there was nothing that they can do. Only they were taking cottons, stuffing it inside the wound to stop the blood, because blood was flowing all over, both legs. But this one was more serious than this one. So they were trying to stop the blood by putting cotton in there, because there was nothing that they can do than that. So,
were you given any pain medication?
No, I was drinking water only. I asked them water frequently. They gave me 6 bottles of Evian, this big one. I drank. I came to understand after Lysar was stopping them for giving me water. I don't know whether I could have drank until I finished, or maybe the drinking was the source of that blood coming out all the time. So they asked them not to give me water anymore.
Can you recall for how long you laid down there before Sana called out for medic?
No, when I fall down, when this man shot me, I fall down. He ran and wanted to finish me. He said, stop it. That's the time he asked me to get up. When I try and get up myself, the pain I was feeling, I cannot estimate it. I said, finish me. I cannot resist the pain. So that's the time he started shouting, call me the medics, call me the medics. That's how these people came with first aid box. He said, you cannot treat this man here. Take him, take him. So that's how I dragged to the clinic.
Apart from stuffing your leg with cotton to try and stop the bleeding, did you receive any other medical attention?
There was nothing there. There was nothing there. So...
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, I think my time is up now. My time is up now for a break. So if we can pause the testimony here till we return. And I'd like to proceed with the witness. I apologize. I should have checked the time earlier in order to give time to the commissioners to ask questions. But I had lost track of time.
Thank you very much, Council. I guess we would wait until we come back from the break, and if we have any questions, to pose those questions. In the meantime, we'll take a 30-minute break. Come back at 12 noon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Problem.
Councillor, you may proceed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Welcome back, Mr. Kebe.
Thank you.
I just wish to remind you that you're still on the oath.
Yes, no.
So I'd like to give you a recap of your evidence so far and where you stopped.
No problem.
Before the break, you had mentioned that you were arrested at your in-laws' house in Banjulinding at 5 p.m. And you were asked to enter a small boot of a vehicle.
Yeah.
You were in that boot for 5 hours.
Yeah.
And then later, the car stopped at Yundum Barracks, and you were asked to go into the guard room. While entering the guard room, you were slapped by JCB on the face.
Yeah.
And once you entered inside the guard room, you saw Edward Singate, Sana Sabali, and some of their orderlies in the guard room, and you sat in a chair. When you entered the guard room, Edward called you the army commander, and he said you were the one that called the signal room, which you denied. And while you were having a conversation with Sana Sabali about that issue, Edward Singate shot you on the leg. The bullet passed through your left thigh into your right leg. And while you were bleeding, Sana called for medic, and you were taken to the clinic. And at the clinic, they tried to stop the bleeding by stuffing cotton in the wound. That's where you stopped with your evidence. Now, I just wish to ask you, apart from the treatment, like using of cotton on your wound, did you receive any other medical attention while you were at the clinic?
Not at all.
For how long did you remain in that condition?
I was there for 3 days, because I was shot on Sunday, the 13th. So I was there Sunday, Monday, up to Tuesday, the 15th, around midday. That's the time they took me to hospital, RBCH.
For the 3 days that you were at the clinic, did you receive any painkillers? Because you did mention earlier that you were in so much pain after you were shot.
There was nothing that was given to me.
How were you feeling then?
All the time with pain, all the time with pain. Somebody bullet is inside his body. A foreign particle inside your body is a problem, much more a bullet. I will not shoot my enemy. I'll tell you this, with the experience I have.
So you mentioned that the bullet was still inside your body.
Yeah, it's inside my body. I don't lie on the side.
Where exactly was it lodged?
Around 3 inches below my femur, that's where it is here.
So what happened after the 3 days?
So they took me to hospital.
Hospital was that?
According to the medical officer, Lisa, since the time they shot my leg, that's I don't know who informed the army commander then by the name Baukar Jata. So Baukar was calling at the clinic there.
Sorry, Mr. Keve, I can barely hear you. Can you please move the microphone close to you so that...
Okay. Are you hearing me now?
Yes, that's...
Okay. So during that period, according to the medic, he was speaking with the army commander pertaining to my affairs. Because I don't know how the army commander came to know that I was shot. And he called Lisa, or Lisa called him, the medical officer, and tell him that I am called by Sana at the guard room, but I met the short couple Kebe. He said, which couple Kebe are you referring to? He said, couple Alaji Kebe. He said, no, check. You want the short, according to Sir. So he said, I'm living with Kebe. So he's Kebe at the short. So at the time he said, how is Kebe condition? How is his condition? He said, his condition is very serious, but he's trying to manage with things. Then Monday morning, he called. By the time Lysar was in, it was the medical assistant who spent the night with me there, who took the phone and said, after he told me the army commander who was calling and he was asking for Lysar. Then later I came and said, the army commander was talking to me about your affairs. I think he's trying to do something. I said, okay. But I was all the time lying down with pain. So that's the time he told me, on Tuesday morning, he said, he came to me and said, I was called by the army commander. He said, let me take you to the hospital. I said, okay, no problem. So he said, they are going for the ambulance. I said, okay. I was there till around midday. That's the time he came back. He said the ambulance was having a problem, but it's already remedied. Now we can go. I said, okay. That's how they put me on a stretcher and took me inside the ambulance. Then I was taken to RBTH, where I was admitted.
For how long were you admitted at RBTH?
I was there, I think, from November, December, January, February. A little after when I heard that this man was arrested, Sana Sabari, a little after that time, that's the time one fine the Raisar came and said that I was discharged by the hospital. Anyway, I said, okay. He said, but I'm taking you to the clinic. I said, okay, it's fine. So they took me to the new barracks at the clinic there, where I spent a little time. One fine day, the military police came there. They said, I'm going on orders to the CO of one battalion, who was Vincent Diata, the late at the time.
While you were admitted at RBTH, did your family know your whereabouts then?
Yeah, the first day it was a big problem because my wife came, they said they don't allow her to come, my mother the same. So until the second day, because I was admitted with a heavy guard there, soldiers were standing beside my bed with their weapons. So, but the second day, the guard who was there I forgot his name, but he was a reasonable somebody. My mother came very early, so the guard outside came and told him that anyway, this old woman is the mother of couple Kevin. So he said, allow her to come in, no problem. I said, I told him that hope you will not have problem. He said, sir, no problem, feel free. I said, okay. Then my mother came.
Were they eventually able to remove the bullet from your right thigh?
This bullet is still here. I mean, I don't lie on this side. I don't lie on this side.
"25 years after that incident, the bullet is still in your right thigh."
Yeah, it's still here.
you okay to continue, Mr. Kebe? So apart from your family members, did any other Army officer visit you while you were admitted at RBT? Can you please turn on the mic? It's off. Press on the green button.
At the time, most of these soldiers don't want to come closer to people like us because we fall victims. So there was a day, I understand, San Salvador's convoy had an accident. One of their police had a broken hand and was brought to the same ward where I was admitted, 8 and 3. So in the evening, Peter Singate and John Gomez, I think he was a sergeant major at the time, John Gomez, they came to visit Albert, the only who had accident. So they learned that I was admitted in the same ward at the corner. So Peter came up to the side of my bed. As a junior officer to him, I seen Peter as far as service is concerned. Peter came to the army around 93, you see. So I just raised my hand to show respect on him, but he was not satisfied. He said, "Couple, you are lying down here." I said, yes. He said, "This is too small for you. He would have killed you." I just look at him and keep quiet. That's how he turned his back and go. Around that, no officer ventured to come and visit me.
Can you recall how many men were admitted at the hospital, the ones that had an accident?
Okay, no, it was only about that I know at the time. After, I think, after this Bait Sambajaro led him to arrest me, Fatih and that Kanilai, I understand he had a problem with the Zanramuri and he was shot on the buttocks and he was admitted at ICU. One fine day I was lying on my bed, he just came down. He said, "Sir, I learned that you are here, so I just come to see you." I said, "Okay, thank you." By that time my late wife was there. She brought food. I have started to dish out food so that we can eat together. We eat together, then we go back to the report.
Just to be clear here, who are you referring to? The one that was shot? Fatih or Kanilai?
No, Bachsamba Jaro.
Bachsamba. Thank you. So how long was it while you were admitted? You said you were admitted 3 days after you were shot at RBT.
Yeah.
How long was it before Sanas Audley was admitted at the same hospital?
No, I cannot remember definitely the period, but it's not quite long. Because I understand their convoy had an accident at around Tabukota, I don't know, Abukoyan. So Albert was the guy I know, so he was admitted in the same ward with me, with a broken hand. He's cleared now too.
You also mentioned that you were discharged and then sent to Yundum Barracks for orders. Yeah. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, I was sent for orders in the CO's office, who was Vincent Jata at the time, delayed. He was the commanding officer of 1 battalion. So he read my orders in front of RSM Sanya, this Babukar Sanya. And he said they are charging me for participating in that 11 November incident. I said, no, I've never participated in anything. I don't even know about this 11 November incident. So that's the time Sanyang was called. He said, I went to him. What he said that day and what he said here is two different things. He, Sanyang, said, I went to him and said, my boss, Lieutenant Jaju, asked me to go to him for him to brief me.
And who was your own boss at that time?
It's Lieutenant Dabo, who was overseeing quartermasters office, not Lieutenant Judge. Lieutenant Judge was an engineer. So he said he doesn't know what to tell me. I started telling him that we are going after this council, Edward Singh, you name it. It was not true. Me, I've never sit with any council member for them to promise me anything. After the coup, 22nd July, all soldiers know that that coup was planned within a company, that is Eco Company. I was not belonging to the company. I've never attended within, I've never sit with any council member for them to promise me anything. How will I know that these people, they promise these people for me to go on, to be going after them? You see? So it was just a bunch of false allegations against me and nothing else. You see? So that's what he said in front of Vincent Jata. So Vincent Jata said, what you said, I said, that is not true, sir. He said, then I refer to Army Commander's orders. I said, okay, thank you very much. So at the time, they asked me to fall out. When I was going with my crutches, I met in the door, at the door, sorry, these military police officers. They said, I said, yes, I said, you are going to mile 2. I said, no problem. That's how they took me to the guard room, put me inside the cell, let me sit there, they go and prepare their vehicle, come. That's how they bring me to mile 2.
You mentioned that the bullet was still lodged in your thigh.
Up to now.
How were your injuries then at that time?
I was just managing with pain at all the time because I cannot remove it and I cannot stop the pain, so I was all the time with pain.
So what kind of treatment did you receive while you were at RVTH?
Okay, the time they were taking me to RVTH, the wound started getting septic. Because of just 3 days I was lying down there untreated. So they cannot do anything, and thank God, that is what saved me. Because if they happened to touch this wound at that time, I could have ended up sitting on a wheelchair, because where this bullet is buried is very serious. So, but because of the wound started changing, they decided to dress the wound until it healed up, then they look what to do further. On the whole, they were told that there are cuttings inside the wound. But these cuttings were just forced in without tying them. So these people, they just take out what they feel is, they can take it out and they don't see anything, so they decided to dress the wound. By that time, there are some cuttings left inside the wound. So the day those cuttings reacted inside that wound, it was more severe than even the bullet that I received that day. The whole night I could not sleep. I was crying throughout. The doctor on call was Dr. Jan, one at this place, African now. He was called. He came to my bed around 6:30 to 7. The time they opened the wound, we see black things coming up from me. So that's the time he prescribed a medication for me, which I bought from my own pocket. It was not available at the hospital at the time. So that's what they used to heal up my leg.
You had mentioned earlier that the bullet passed through from your right to your left thigh.
Yeah.
There was an opening.
Yes, yes.
There were 2 openings on your left thigh.
Yeah.
And 1 opening on your right thigh.
Yeah,
then.
Yeah.
Now, can you take us through step by step what happened when you got to mile 2 prisons?
I was taken to mile 2. From us, they took me to the guard room. They locked me inside the cell there. I was sitting down. Later, they prepared their vehicle and come and take me to mile 2. So they escorted me to mile 2 to the office. Then from there, they took me to confinement number 4.
Were you processed in any way when you got to mile 2?
No, there was nothing done. I was just taken there. I was sitting. Just a little, they said, yes, we can go. That's how they escorted me with some prison police. So we went inside the confinement. They put me on cell number 2. It was break time, I can fully remember, because they used to break 12 o'clock and come back 2 o'clock. So I made the place was so quiet from the whole other officers were in. So I was locked in cell number 2. After they locked the main gate, I heard Captain Kami's voice. He said, "Who is that?" I said, "It's me, sir, Kebe." He said, "Kebe, what brought you here?" I said, "It's these people. I understand that you are wounded in your leg." I said, "Yes, but with all that they are brought here." So that's how everything went. So till they came back by 2 o'clock and opened them. So they meet these prison officers. Some of them are very wicked, and this. With all the wound I'm having, the crutches I'm walking with, they said they are tradition, they have to change your legs when you go in there. So at the time, the senior man at the confinement was Sergeant Jawando. I think he's dead now. So they had to put those chains on my legs. But when Kambi and Chonghan came out and they protested and said, "No, this man is suffering, you want to put chain on him again. What is this? So you have to take it out." They even said I should not have rest because that is not part of their tradition. I should wait for at least a week or so. But these people protested again. They said, "No, you have to." From that evening, they started taking me out.
We have received testimony at this commission that in Mile 2, the bed that was given to the inmates, it only had a plank of wood on it, and that they were given chamber pots as well to use for their toilets. Given the condition, did they give you any preferential treatment to ease your pain?
No. There was no.
How did you cope in the cell?
Struggling just to survive the survival of the fittest. With the help of Mapuji Sonko, I have respect for that guy. Every morning he will come and clean my cell, help me to sit outside. Before going to bed, he will go and fill the water of my bucket, the 5-gallon water this for me, put it inside, and help me to get inside and be in my cell.
Did you receive any medical attention while you were there?
No, they don't give you anything. They don't give you anything. They don't give you anything. At the time, I was not even taking medicine, only painkillers. That's the time I was in the clinic. But when I was going to my two, they don't take me along with anything. And there, even one tablet, if they don't prescribe it for you, they give it to them. They will allow you to have it. That's to smuggle it yourself. You see, because those people are very negative. Anything you want to do, they think that you wanted to commit suicide or I don't know what. So if you are dying, they will just call these people until they came. That's the time you have treatment. If not, you have a problem.
Were you allowed to go to the hospital while you were at Mile 2?
No, I don't go to the hospital.
How did you cope in your condition?
I was struggling, as I said before, with the help of Mapuji. Mapuji was doing a lot for me. Until one fine day when I fell down, it was a big problem. You see, because somebody who cannot squat, you know, those toilets, they don't have these floor toilets. You see? So you just try to manage yourself. The toilets are very small. Sometimes I have to screen myself like this, just to ease myself. You see? I really struggled a lot there. So when I fell down, it was a period of 22nd July. These people were called, they said they are on standby, they cannot come. I was there for the whole week with severe pain.
When you fell down, did it affect your injuries?
Of course, yes. My leg had a problem again. You know, this leg, the day the bullet enters this way, there was no bone that was left. It broke all the bones. So it's only callus that is holding this leg. I cannot move it properly up to today. Let me tell you this. There are certain movements. If I did it, ask my family, I have to sit for some time before being able to walk. So I fell down there, it had a problem again. I was there, they called it here, there on 22nd July celebration. For a week, I was there. We even appealed to them for Major Njai to come and assist me. They accepted less than 5 minutes, they say no. They think that if I'm with Major Njai in one cell, something might happen. What is going to happen? Somebody whose legs are not good. Those people are wicked. So I was there until after 22nd July. Before, they sent one medical officer, this small boy, Combo. That's his name. He was known as Zandarmuri. I don't know his full name, but they used to call him locally Combo. So he came, he saw how my leg was. He said, "Sir, I'm not going to touch this." That's what he told me. I'm not going to touch this. I'll let me go and report back to Lysar. And that's how he, even paracetamol, he did not give it to me. So he went back and explained to Lysar according to him what he told me. Then after the celebration, they sent the colleague. He came with the ambulance and they took me back to RBH. It was a problem when the doctors saw me in that condition.
Which colleague are you referring to?
I think Islamic colleague, the one who testified the last time I was saying that he was assisting me the time I was shot.
That will be your second time going to the RBTH?
Yeah, that's it.
What happened when you got there?
So when I got there, it was a problem. There was a surgeon there by the name Dr. Martin. He was a German. They discharged me the time I was going forth. They even escorted me. My wife was there. This guy sitting here, she was the one who packed all my things and took them back home. So I was walking on crutches. It wasn't that much better, but I can move with crutches. So when they saw me, I cannot walk. Dr. Martin said, "What the hell is happening? This man was walking with crutches. Now he can walk. Now you must have to explain what is wrong with this man." So that's where the problem comes. He said he's not going to admit me unless they explain to him why I came with that condition. Maybe they were suspecting that there is foul play in there or not. Okay, at the time they called the army headquarters. So this man was called Dennis Coker, who was the TRRC of the army commander at the time. He's in the US now. He was a major at the time, major or captain, if I can fully remember. And when he came, we explained everything to him. He said to the doctors, Dr. Martin, that this man lying down here is my brother. Though I seniored him in the army, both service and rank, but he's older than me. 1, 2, he was my technician. All my furniture was made by this man. He is more a brother to me than a colleague and than a working colleague. So what you people are asking, the people who are to explain that to you, they will never come here. So it's best we see the interest of the person that is lying down here with pain and readmit him. That's how they come to conclusion. They decided to admit me. Then I was there for a period. They come and discharge me again and take me to Mile 2.
Can you recall when you went back to RBTH? Just the year.
I think, is it not? I think it's 96, 95, 96, something like that. Yes, it should be 96, I see. And
for how long did you remain at RBTH this time around?
No, less than 2 months. They just come and pack me back, pick me and take me back.
At this point, were you charged for any offense?
No, the time they took me to serious orders, I was referred to Army Commander. One day before having that problem, I was taken to Army Headquarters for orders. Me, Captain Kambi, I think Pastor Rajan Press, the former IG. Yes, I forgot the 4th person. Anyway, so when we went there, the Army Commanders reached our charge sheet. We said we are not guilty. He said, "Okay, I refer you to court martial." I said, "Fine." Then we went back to Mile 2. Within that period, I have problem. That's the time they readmit me again. So there was no court martial that took place.
this point, did you have access to any lawyers?
No.
So what happened after you were discharged?
So I was there till one fine day. Before I was discharged, there was one raid at the Mile 2 precinct. It was a joint raid. That's how I was informed. Anyway, they said there's a joint raid because there are problems inside the main yard that they want to settle. So it was combined forces, this paramilitary, military, and the police. So they came during the raid. They were firing tear gas inside the main camp, the main yard. So, you know, the smoke is the air that brought it inside the confinement area. So people who have left, they just broke their cells and come out in the open. Me, I cannot break my door, so I was there. I inhaled too much of the gas. I fainted for 4 hours. I was lying down. During the raid, they happened to shot 2 inmates there. The late Laminda was executed among those 9 people, plus 1 Senegalese, Nyas, was shot on the thigh too. So Lamin have this thing on the stomach. So one officer see me lying down, motionless. This man close to walk. Went to my mother and tell him that your son is dead. I stayed for almost 1 year without seeing any of my family before they leave me. So
this incident happened after you were discharged from RBTH the second time.
The second time, yeah. You see, because by the time they just come and release all the soldiers there, the senior men, except me and one Lamin Boy. So I was there. So that's the time this raid happened, so that happened to me. I fainted for 4 hours, so they come and inform my mom that I was dead. Later, I managed to smuggle one note and give it to one officer to bring it to my mother. So it was a problem. My brother was explaining to me. The time this man said, "It's your son who sent me to you." My mother just grabbed him. "You killed my son today, you are telling me it's my son who sent me." So the boys would check, look at the note and tell mom, "Yes, this is Alaji's writing." That's what made him to come. So,
after that incident and after your family received news that you were still alive,
yeah.
Did they have access to you while you were in prison?
No. After my readmission, that reading, from that time up to the time I released, my release, there was no visitor for me, no provision, no nothing. I was just there.
You mentioned that you were never charged with any offense and
No.
you didn't have access to a lawyer.
No.
Were you still considered as an active member of the Gambian National Army then?
Well, my observation, yes, because I was detained I had this problem in 1994, November. Excuse me. My salary was paid from November 1994 to this thing, 1996.
You were in Mile 2 then. How did you know that your salary was paid?
No, the time I was admitted, they used to pay my salary, and my second wife used to go and collect this from my bank and bring it to the hospital. So the time of my readmission, that's why I told you it's 1996. She went to the bank and there was no money sent to the bank. I forgot the exact month, so she came back and said, "Darling, these people, they don't send anything in your account." I said, "Okay, maybe they have stopped my salary from now." So that's how it was.
While you were in prison, did you receive any letter from the army suggesting that you were no longer part of the Gambian National Army?
Up to today, no.
For how long were you?
4 good years. with the intervals of admitting and going to teaching. Yeah.
During that 4 years, you've already told us about 2 incidents where you were admitted at RVTH.
Yeah.
How many times were you at the hospital?
I'm not getting you. How many times?
During those 4 years,
yes.
You've already mentioned 2 incidents wherein you were admitted at RVTH.
Yes.
During those 4 years, apart from those 2 incidents, were you admitted again at RVTH
No.
for your injuries?
I was not.
During the 4 years you were in Mile 2, did your injuries get any better?
No. It was still the same. It was still the same. There was nothing that was done. You see, only the wound got healed, but the leg wasn't this thing. Wasn't strong for me to do anything with it. I was so moving out with crutches. Until the time I was released, I was on crutches.
Did you sustain any other injuries as a result of being incarcerated in that condition?
Not actually, only the torture, mental torture, because somebody in that 1.50 by 2.50 alone, with all the problems that you are having, the food is good, nobody cares about you.
Can you tell us what eventually led to your release?
Not to my knowledge. It was just one fine day, a day I will never forget. On the 1st of October, 1998, I was there in the morning. It's just God, Allah, who makes me to react that morning. I was very calm. Because I wake up in the morning, the in-charge came, who was Thomas at the time. He was responsible of confinement. After 1 year plus, I don't see my family. I don't know, only the notes that I'm smuggling. Other than that, nobody comes to me. So, my father died in 1995. Up to today, I don't see the dead body. So, that only first, I just wake up in the morning, I Thomas, he said, you come, I said, Thomas, sit down. I said, what have I done, Thomas? He said, look at him, Magji, look how. I said, this is serious. I'm here for how many years without seeing my family? I haven't done anything. What is the problem? He said, sir, definitely we are sorry about this condition. Me, if I see you, I always feel the same.
Can you please give us the first name of
Thomas? I think he's the prison commissioner as of now, but I don't know if his first name. We used to call him Thomas.
Rank then?
The prison ranks. I think he was APO at that time. I don't know. Assistant Lieutenant. I don't know. I forgot anyway. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the prison ranks, to be quite honest with you. Why they used to call him APO? I don't know. OPO Thomas. So, but he was in charge of confinement at the time. So when I tell him this, he said, now tell me, whom do you want to see? I said, my first wife is just at Banjul here, so you can tell her to come. He said, okay, give me their number. I give him my wife's number. By the time we have his landlines in my aunt's house, so I give him the number. He put it inside his pocket. He said, he will call Hadim, my wife. We went out, that's the last time we saw. Then until around 1:30, according to him, he was explaining, he said he was giving assignment, what assignment to do. So he was taking something out from his pocket that is having see the note. He said, hey, let me go and call this lady before it's late. So upon approaching the office, the DCP, Deputy Commissioner at the time, Jobate, he said, yes, go and call Mr. Kebe. So that's the time he came to the confinement, because at that time they don't close me during their break. When they open me in the morning, they leave me there till 5 o'clock. When they are going home, that's the time we go to bed. So he came and said, you are wanted at the office. I said, okay, no problem. He said, if I told you are going home, that's it. Not, definitely I forgot to call your wife, but I called her so that she can come tomorrow. I said, no problem, feel fine. And upon approaching the main door of the office, the was just coming out. He said, you are bringing this man, where is he? This man is going home. So that's the time I saw Baji, the former interior minister. He was at the police at the time. He was not appointed minister at the time. He was the one who came for my release.
Can you recall his first name?
I forgot his first name, to be quiet. What Baji? I forgot his first name, to be quite honest with you. It's Usman Baji, I think. Usman. Yeah. Usman Baji. So he came for my release. Then I was let out, and we both let the police pick up that he came with. Up to the army headquarters, he handed me over to the army command.
Sir, can you please speak into the mic? Your voice is fading.
Sorry.
Thank you.
So I said, as Mr. Baji who came and picked me, he came for my release. So we went to the army headquarters, me and so he handed me over to the army commander at that time, who was Samsudin Sar. So he told me that anyway, you are given amnesty by the head of state. Total amnesty. He said that all your benefits will be paid to you. So he cracked some jokes there, give me some piece of advice, then tell me you can go home. When we are ready, we'll get back to you. I said, okay. That's how I went with the family. In my absence, I took a taxi from, how to call it again, Marina Parade to Grotta, because I was completely lost. So even to recognize our compound was a problem. It's my brother's wife who saw me inside the car. He said, call my wife, he said, your husband is inside the car. That's how the driver didn't come. So I stayed home. My mother came and took me to his place at Tarinding because I was not much well. I was on crutches still. Then 2 weeks after, I was called by Sam Sudin Sar, the army commander, to go and answer. So I went there. He said, the army has constraint. They cannot pay this money, so it's that. So that's how I went home. After, they gave me a certificate, which is very contradicting. The soldier that you detained, we said he was attempting to coup you. After 4 years of detention, you decided to give him military certificate, stating that the soldier voluntarily retired 1995. And I was up to 1998.
Do you have that certificate with you?
I have it with me. I have it with me. That's the military certificate they give me and the testimony.
Can you please show the commissioners the certificate? Mr. Chairman, with your permission, I'd like to exhibit the said certificate.
Request granted.
I'll provide the exhibit number later on. So we'll just have the commissioners look at it and write it in the afternoon, the exhibit number, just to be sure of the number.
Mind it right with us. Thank you.
While the commissioners are looking at the certificate, Mr. Chairman, may I proceed with the questions for witness, not to waste time? You said you went to the Army Commander's office, that's Samsudin Sar,
Yes.
and then you were given this certificate.
Yes.
And what did he say the certificate was for?
Maybe if I want, according to what they say, if anybody wants my service in the future, they can carry on, no problem.
Were you given any form of compensation or whatsoever, since they mentioned that they could not pay your gratuities?
After this certificate they gave me, they asked me to go and collect my gratuity, that is the stated 5-6 years period that they said I'd voluntarily retired. So I went to the TRRC, they gave me $7,000. It was not even paid to me. It was sent to my bank. On the whole, that account was of my salary. So these people took their ledger fees out of it. I went home with $3,000 some few dollars.
After that, and after giving a certificate saying that you voluntarily resigned from the Army, did you obtain a job, that is, after your release?
Yes, as an elderly somebody want to the breadwinner of my family, I cannot sit like that. I seated for just a little period simply because I was having serious pain on my leg, and the leg wasn't strong enough for me to lift the crutches. I cannot walk with crutches. So after that period, I worked with Seafood Company, Life is Complex at the bridge there, as their chief security. So my boss there, who was a female white man, Nika, she even tried one time to assist me to go abroad for further treatment. But when they told her about the bill, he said he cannot pay the bill, or let her write headquarters so that they can pay half, she will pay half. She will pay half for my treatment, but that doesn't work. We wrote to them, they don't respond. I went to the Human Rights Office. I met Emmanuel Juf, I think, who was the lawyer at the time there. I showed him all my documents. By the time I was having everything with me, my pay slips, the time dates of my salary, my certificates, the extras and everything were intact at the time. So he told me, definitely, my brother, you have case against these people, but at this present moment, if you take these people to court, you are just wasting your time because they will not respond to you. And I agree with him because I went to the ombudsman, the office that they established, and nothing comes out of it. So if he told me that, then I know that what he's saying is true. So I have to give away everything. See, after I work with GPA, then now I'm not doing anything. I'm sitting at home now.
You had told us that you were married before your arrest.
Yes, with
How
3
many
wives.
kids did you have then?
I have 5 boys, 4 girls.
Had 9 children.
Yeah.
What was the impact of your detention on your family?
It was horrible. It was horrible. It's just like somebody who is on a seat, you just come and remove the seat away from him. You see, I was the breadwinner of my family, the first son of my mother, and my father too. So if I am taking away, or not just cause from my family, obviously, I am going to be fine.
Mr. Chairman, that will be all from me for the witness. If the commissioners have questions for the witness, this will be a good time for it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my counsel, and thank you very much, Mr. Kebe, for your testimony.
Thank you.
Commissioner Sama, do you have any questions? Bishop, you have the floor, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Alaji Kebe.
Yes, sir.
I'm so sorry for the ordeal that you went through during those past years.
Thank you.
It's pathetic. Now, from the doctors at the RVTH, did they give you any referral recommendation for the bullets to be extracted from your leg?
Yes, I was boarded at the RVTH. I had a medical board there, which they recommended that I should go for overseas treatment. The documents were with me. Unfortunately, there was an inferno in my house, so all those documents were born. So that's why I cannot produce them. But the records are still in the records office at the RVGH. If necessary, I can search for them, and I know I will get them. Even this ministry certificate, I just went to my former boss at the GPA and explained my problem to him that I'm coming to meet you guys. Our certificate was born, so he said I go to the records office and try and get you one. He's the one who gets this photocopy and bring it for me.
Very much, Commissioner Jones, you have the floor.
Mr. Kebe, for the purpose of the committees within the Commission, I'd just like to ask a few follow-up questions regarding your children.
No problem.
You had 9 children. Yes. Were all 9 children school-going children as at that time?
Yes, of course. Only the last, which I named him after a friend of mine, we bear the same name, Alaji Kamara, was the fish supply of the army. So I named him after my last child, who was 6 months old at the time I was having this problem.
Okay. Your salary stopped 2 years detention in '96. Yeah. Were they able to continue going to school as at that time?
No, because when I was released, I met all my kids were sitting at home. None of them was going to school, honest to Mohammed.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Deputy Chair, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Kebe.
Welcome.
I have 2 questions. One is family related, and the other one is in terms of your retirement. Yeah. The first one, when they told your mother that you had died, did your wife have to go into mourning?
No, not actually, because my mother did not even relay the message to my wife. Because let me tell you, this one is not that his mother, but he's a God faithful person. Even the time I was arrested, those RDs, they don't know my whereabouts. My uncle came to the house. One of my uncles was staying at Banyurindi. He came and gathered the whole family and tell my mother that I learned that Kebe is killed. Because anybody they place their hand on, they will kill you. So we want to make charity for Kebe. They called my mom from Trinidad. She came. When they explained their story to her, he said, no, my son is not dead. He said, my uncle told her that either these people, they fall in their hands, they have killed you. And there is somebody who came up to my house and told me that Kebe was killed in his front. My mother said, no. He said, Kebe is your nephew. They said, yes. He said, okay, you can prepare charity for Kebe, but me, I'm going home. That's how she left the house. That is what, 3 days after, I was taken to hospital.
Thank you. We salute the courageous mother for taking such a stand. Now, this is in relation to your voluntary retirement. Voluntary retirement is normally taken by the person who wants to retire.
Yes.
So how can the Army now give you a certificate of voluntary retirement when you did not ask for it?
Maybe it's their way of doing things. I don't know. Somebody who was detained up to 1998, you just certificate and said he retired 1995. I can't understand that. I just hold it like it and go home. Because at the time you cannot do anything. I've been to the ombudsman. That was established by them. For people who had complaints against the other person to go and lodge it there, there was nothing that came up from it. I went to the Human Rights Office. I told you what this man told me, right, you. So I just decided to hold my hands and leave everything in the hands of God.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kebe.
Imam Jallo, you have the floor, please.
Mr. Kebe?
Yes, I am.
You seem to suggest that there was mistaken identity in your case, and for which you have been punished for a long time. Did you, during this period, make any effort to extricate yourself, like by explaining to the authorities that you were where, or to some other, but to the authorities? Did you make any effort to clear yourself?
Imam, at the time, definitely I could not do anything about this. Simply because everything was in their hands, and they make me to handicap. He is the one who taught me. And he was playing all these games to delay me. Because I don't see the reason why they were releasing officers leaving me behind. They wounded somebody. You see? So there was a time Dr. Jones came to my hospital bed and said, okay, I said, yes, I said, I don't put my mouth in people's problem, but I am asked to write about your leg. I said, you're welcome. And later I understand that he wrote, send it to the State House, to the authorities there. But unfortunately, at that time, Edward was the vice chairman. So I think let's make everything to be subsided. You do not want to see me outside with how I was the author of everything. This question of misidentity, I don't buy that, to be quite honest with you, because we are all soldiers, we know each other. What I can say is out of jealousy, out of wickedness, that's all. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Imam C, you have the floor, please.
Wow, Imam.
When you alighted from the vehicle, who slapped you?
JCB Momambe.
I was slapped by JCB.
Thank you. There are no other... Oh, Commissioner Carr, you have the floor, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Commissioner Carr, I have two questions. The first is, were you allowed family visits in prison?
Yes. Initially I was, but after they stopped.
Thank you. The second question is, you said the condition of the food wasn't good. I'd like to have more explanation on that, please. Thanks.
Well, the previous people that testify here about mine too, according to my understanding, prisons are rehabilitation centers, but not in the Gambia. Here is a dumping center, especially at the time. All those people there are Jolas. They all claim to be relative of Yahya Jammeh. You enter there, they see you as an enemy to Yahya Jammeh. So not a single favor they will do it for you. It's only one person who was trying his best for us, who is Ablai Bojang. And I understand that that boy was more related to Yahya Jammeh than any other person there. To be quite honest with you, even during the time of Ramadan, we will venture to stay with us there up to 11 o'clock and then go home. But not like other people. We were tortured mentally, physically, everything. You can understand. You see, the place is not good. It's not good, to be quite honest with you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kebe. The ordeal you endured is quite extraordinary. Sorry about it, and we share your pain. At this point, do you have to make, if you do, proceed?
Okay, I just have a small thing. Good afternoon to everybody here. Mr. Chairman, here today. I thank the TRRC for the job well done. And I am sending my very sorrowful for the dead and the wounded people. And I am asking all Gambians to respect the law. I thank you all. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all of us. Amen. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much indeed, and thanks again for coming to testify before the Commission. Council, the witness lined up for the afternoon.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we do, and we're ready to proceed at 2:30 today. Thank you.
Splendid. So the meeting would stand adjourned. We come back here at 2:30. Meeting is adjourned.